Alright, so I'm about to go see my second film of the day, but I wanted to do something a little different. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and since 2024 is now in our rearview mirror, I decided to look at some of the movies that were the biggest successes of the year. And I'm going to tell you guys the top 10 highest grossing films of the year 2024. Now, before I tell you that, I wanted to share a couple of honorable mentions. The 5 that were just short of making it into the top 10, and 2 others that I wanted to highlight. First one is a film that I think that deserved a lot better in the box office, and that is Furiosa. Furiosa was such an amazing film. It's certainly in my top 10 of the year, but it only made $173.7 million at the box office, which is really, really sad. That movie deserved a lot more, and considering the fact that it was off the heels of Mad Max Fury Road, which also didn't do too hot, kind of makes sense, but I still think it deserved a lot more. From a film that deserved a lot more to a big disappointment. When your first film makes $1 billion and is nominated for all sorts of Oscars and actually wins some, and then to go to pretty low depths is kind of sad. And that film that I'm talking about is Joker 2, or Joker Folie à Deux, which made only $206.4 million. If you guys want, you can check out my review of Joker 2 and see how I thought about that film. But yeah, that was a really big disappointment for the year. Now into the honorable mentions. Again, these are films that were just outside of the top 10, but I wanted to give some special mention to. Now, some of these movies are still out in theaters. I made this list last night, and so the list may change, but this is the listing right now. In 15th is Mufasa, The Lion King, at $352.8 million. Again, go check out my review. It's on the screen somewhere, but go check out my review and to see my thoughts on that film. At number 14, Twisters, with $370.9 million. This is, of course, the sequel to Twister, and that had Daisy Edgar-Jones and Glenn Powell. This was a really fun time in the theater. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, happy for its success. Next up, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at $397.3 million. Again, this was really, really fun. Really, really good movie, and hopefully they can continue on with the trilogy that they have planned for it, because I really enjoyed that movie. I loved all the performances, the motion capture, and the CG was absolutely awesome. And yeah, I hope they can continue on with the story. Next up, in number 12, is Bad Boys 4, or Bad Boys Ride or Die, with $404.5 million. Again, really fun time in the theater. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, their chemistry was absolutely awesome. And the way that they shot some of the fight scenes, especially the final fight scene, absolutely awesome. So, again, and that was kind of a big success story when it came out in June. Was like, oh, a film that actually did kind of decently. And then, last of the honorable mentions, number 11, Gladiator 2 at $437.6 million. Again, I saw this on a Mystery Movie Monday. Go check out my review of Gladiator 2 to hear all about that. But this movie was absolutely awesome and epic in every way. Paul Mescal and Denzel Washington did an amazing job. Ridley Scott killed it, as always, with his direction. But yeah, those are the 5 honorable mentions. Now on to the big list, starting with number 10, which is Beetlejuice, or Beetlejuice 2, at $451.1 million. This film was an absolute ball. Michael Keaton is a legend, as always. Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega had amazing chemistry, and it was also good to see Catherine O'Hara back as well. But yeah, nice solid film with nice solid practical effects, and yeah, it was a really, really fun time. Next up, probably Sony's lone superhero win of the year, and that is Venom: The Last Dance at $476.8 million. Yeah, like I said, Sony did not have a good year for Marvel movies. Madam Web bombed, Kraven bombed, but Venom 3, whether hook or by crook, it got there, and it got a top 10 spot. I've always had an affinity towards the Venom films, and this one was no exception. This one was a whole bunch of fun. Tom Hardy as Venom, Eddie Brock, is absolutely fun. The fight on the base was really, really fun, and just seeing all those symbiotes was really, really cool as well. So, does it deserve number 9 over some of the other films that I listed? I don't know, but it was a fun time in the theater nonetheless. At number 8, we have another continuation of a franchise, and that is Kung Fu Panda 4 at $547.6 million. This, of course, saw Jack Black return as Po the Panda, with Awkwafina joining the cast as they had to take down the Chameleon. For me, as a reference, I've seen the first 2. I've not seen 3, and I didn't go see 4, but it's very clear in the year that a lot of films in the top were based off of IP. If I were to go back a year and say, probably very similar stuff, but Oppenheimer was in there, but it is definitely seeming like the world is shifting towards, more focused on IP-driven films. And that does not change with number 7 on the list. That is Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire at $571.7 million. I know a lot of people were comparing this to Godzilla Minus One. Again, check out my review on the channel for that. When this came out, and I thought it was a really fun time. Again, it's not Godzilla Minus One level of good, but it is a fun time just seeing a whole bunch of kaiju fight. Humans are there, but the kaiju fights are what you're there for, just to see Godzilla and Kong kick all sorts of butt across the planet. And yeah, it's just a really fun time. Next up on the list is another film that is still currently in theaters. At number 6 is Wicked, currently at $648.4 million. Like I said in my review, again, go check out my review of Wicked. This film is an absolute powerhouse. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are both powerhouses. The cinematography is amazing. Choreography is amazing. Songs are awesome. It's also been nominated for a bunch of Golden Globe nominations, and we're going to find out in a couple weeks if it has Oscar nominations. So I will definitely have a video reacting to the Oscar noms and seeing, what I would have put in there instead, but we're going to see in a couple weeks if Wicked gets some Oscar nominations. Next up on the list, at number 5, is Dune Part 2 with $714.4 million. Now, I am not the biggest sci-fi guy outside of Star Wars, but if I was to be a betting man, this is probably the bookie's choice for the movie that's going to win Best Picture, because the scope and scale is incredible. The acting is phenomenal. Chalamet and Zendaya are definitely standouts. But I think a guy that doesn't get enough credit in this film is Javier Bardem, with his dogged believism of the Lisan al-Gaib in this film, and wanting to see that savior take the Fremen from being scrutinized on Arrakis to leading Dune is absolutely awesome to witness on screen. So I'm really happy that Dune 2 is able to place itself on the pillar of top 10. It was the only success for quite some time in the year last year. Number 4, a film that is still in theaters right now, Moana 2, currently sitting at $905.7 million. Again, check out my review of Moana 2 to see how that is, but I'm very happy to say that Disney has bounced back from their year last year. Many people said that Disney did not have a good year last year in terms of its films, but I think this past year definitely proved people wrong, because we're going to be talking about a couple other films that have cracked the top. In fact, Disney has the top 2 films. Taking bronze is Despicable Me 4 at $969.1 million. Now, I think I went to see Despicable Me 4 at a drive-in last year, and that was only because I wanted to see something else. But yeah, this was just a fun time. Steve Carell, Miranda Cosgrove, all of them, they had awesome performances. Yeah, it's just something that your kids can watch, and it was fun. These Minion movies, these Despicable Me and Minions movies, always seem to make money at the box office, always. And so I'm not surprised to see Despicable Me 4 up here at the top. Taking the silver in second on the year at $1.338 billion is Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I contributed to this a little bit. I think I went to see this in theaters 6 or 7 times in the theaters, and this was my favorite film of the year. This film showed me that Marvel is not dead. Many people are saying that Marvel's dead and that they've gone off the brink. No, they've not. So all of the naysayers that say, oh, I wish Marvel would have stopped after Endgame. Really? Because we would have missed out on projects like Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, X-Men 97, WandaVision, Loki. All of this amazing stuff. And we're going to get Daredevil this year. You really want the MCU to stop and deprive us from all of this awesome content that we're getting? And that's why I've always been a follower of the MCU, even if they're projects that, many people have disliked. I like The Eternals, and I liked Quantumania. So yeah, it just warms my heart to see that Deadpool and Wolverine has kind of reunited the fun and the love for the MCU. But taking it home at number 1 on the year is Inside Out 2 at $1.698 billion. And I could not be happier, because not only did this come out close to my birthday, but it was a very, very important film that I think a lot of people needed to hear, especially me, because I had gone through a pretty turbulent past couple of weeks, and going to see that, it was very much a message that I needed to hear, to not have anxiety, have control over your life, and to not, stress about every single thing, and to have joy in your life every once in a while, just to have a little bit of fun. Of course, the animation in that movie is absolutely second to none. It's Pixar. It's absolutely awesome. And yeah, it was something that I really needed to hear. And it was also a really good time at the theater as well. Got to see that in IMAX as well. And it was really awesome. But there you go. Those are the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year, with some honorable mentions and a couple of other movies that I wanted to talk about as well. What do you guys think? What do you think should be included on the list? Or what movies do you wish were on the list? Let me know down in the comments below. Like I said, I wanted to get this in before my second movie of the day. And don't worry, that box will be opened very, very soon. I'll catch you guys next time.